Hello everyone, and welcome back to my shop. Today we're going to be working on the 49 Chevrolet 3100 pickup, and a slight problem I noticed. Well, actually I've been noticing it for a while, but I've got a problem with my driver's side door here. Stay tuned and let's address it and get it fixed. If you look, watch how much play I have in this door. Probably could hear it. You can also notice that it's not staying open. I'll show you a close-up. Watching the hinge area here. Or you can watch down there in the bottom. Those hinges are wore out. And let me show you kind of what another problem it's causing. See, right here is the striker plate. See how it's digging in right there? Okay. When this door closes, this latch, this part here, should go right in the middle of there instead of rubbing on the bottom. Now, there is a piece, there is a little latch that rides on the bottom, but in this case, the entire latch housing is rubbing on this before it goes in where it should go straight in easily. You can't really see, but right there you can see where it's low. Now watch when I lift up. See how it goes straight in? All right. So anyway, the hinges are wore, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to take them apart and see if they're worth rebuilding or if I got to replace them. All right, I'm going to have to get this whole top plate off. In order to get the top plate off, got to get the two handles off. All right, I've got that broke loose. All right. My screws are Allen. Some of them may end up being Phillips head. Matter of fact, this may be a Phillips down here. Let's see. That one looks like a straight slot. All right, I got both handles off. 2, 3, 4, 5 Phillips head screws. Oddly enough, I forgot to put a straight slide in over here. All right. And there's your door access right there. Okay, you can see here are the 3 bolts that hold the door to the upper hinge. In order to get to the lower hinge, I need to take this plate off. Now, I tried to take this plate off years ago, and I didn't do it because they started rounding off. They're rusted in. I may end up having to drill them out. So we'll see here in a couple moments. All right, I was able to get 3 of the screws out. This one, and here in the middle. These 2 are they're rusted in, and there's captured nuts. You can see kind of right here, and they're turning. So there's no way I can get them out. So what I've done is I'm bending this tab out just enough, this plate, so I can get access to these 3 bolts that hold the door onto the lower hinge. I'll get the door off the hinges, and I'll address fixing this with it out of the truck. It'll be a whole lot easier. Besides, I can't hardly get a drill bit in right here with my drill. So it'll be a lot easier to do it out of the truck, and I can straighten this plate back up. So anyway, all right, I've got all 3 of the nuts, the bolts up at top, all 3 down here at the bottom. Now I'm going to wiggle the door off. This may go easy, it may not. Let's just, we'll see. They get secured in there, they don't come. Finally. Well, he's worse than the top. All right. Maybe the glare won't show it, but what I've done is I've marked this lower hinge here, 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 and here, and I've marked it correspondingly on the door frame. Same up top, here, 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 and here. Now I'm gonna put white dots on the door frame, all right? That way I can get these hinges when I put them back. See, they're adjustable. They can adjust up and down and to and fro. That way I can get them in this same position, which would be the factory position, because these have never been out, to my knowledge, and being the realistically second owner of this truck, I'm almost positive these are the original hinges that came on it from the factory. See how loose he is? Wow, he's really loose. Generally the top one wears out more, but this one's more. But anyway, I got them marked. That way I can get them back in the same position when I put them back in. All right. Oh, and as a side note, see this oil change sticker? That is from Glee, the original owner. Used to be you could read the ink printing on it, but it was like 99,300 or 400, somewhere around in there, was the mileage that was documented on this tag. And now you can't read it. Maybe you zoom in, maybe you can make some stuff out. But anyway, that's from the original owner, and that was probably the last oil change it got before it got parked for from 69 all the way to 2000, what was it, 10? 11 when I got it. So anyway, all right, I'm going to take these Now I'm going to take the hinges out. Now they're 9/16. The bolts that held the door to the hinge were also 9/16. So anyway. Good. It's captured nuts. And I'm just trying to be careful not to break them loose. And you can see, put it up there, you can see how adjustable it is. Alright. And there he is. And the pin's partially out. Okay. Alright, that's why it's so loose. The pin here is partially out and it's not holding at the bottom. Isn't that something? I'll show you a close-up when I get to it. Well, hopefully this top one will come out just as easy. There we go. He's not bad at all, really. So the problem is mainly in the bottom. Of course, and the spring's gone. There's part of the spring. Yeah, the rest of it's down here in the wherever. But that's not too bad. All right. You can see how the holes are elongated, so it makes it adjustable. Well, all right, I'm going to shoot some rust encapsulant in there, and we'll take these over to the bench. All right, here's that lower hinge, the one with all the play. You can see how far the pin had worked out. It had worked out so much that it's not in the hole there. You see that's where all that slop is. See that? And the bad thing is, it's elongated the hole here where, bring it up. So if I were to just drive this pin back down and make it tighter, it would still have play. So I'll show you this kit I've got, and we're going to go ahead and put the kit in this one, or attempt to anyway. Now this is the upper hinge. Of course the springs are gone. That's what these slots are for here, for the springs. But as far as play, there's not any. I don't know if I could put springs in this. I don't know. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do the lower one first, because there's no play at all in this thing. Actually, it goes like this. Well, I mean, it's almost discernible. So anyway, I'm going to do the bottom one and see how tight it is, and we'll go from there. There's a part number up there. What does it say? All right. All right. All right, I didn't show, but I got the pin started, so I'm going to continue to knock it out. All right. It's almost there. And there we go. What I'm going to do, take a still picture of that so I make sure I get it back together. Oh, you can see here, I don't know, see the pin is worn right there too. So this pin's even wore up there at the top. All right. All right, this is how it comes apart. I'm doing this for my own record keeping. All right. Like that. So I can get him back together correctly. All right. All right, I bought this kit years ago, and I can't remember where I got it from. I think it was Classic Parts. but I'm not 100% certain because I generally keep the receipts, and well, I couldn't find the receipt, so I think it's classic parts. But anyway, it's an oversized pin here, and then you got two bushings. Now the bushings are for, let's get him out of there, the here and here, because of being walled out. Now he got walled out slightly, and what I'm going to do is it takes an 11/32 drill bit to drill this hole and this hole out, and to drill him out. Okay, so that's for this oversized pin. So what I'm going to do before I clean them up, I'm going to go ahead and take them over there to the drill press and drill them out. And we'll see if I need to put the bushings in this piece or not. Anyway. I don't think I'm going to need the bushings. Or are you putting it in wrong? Okay. All right, I got carried away putting the upper hinge back together, and you see I haven't painted it yet. But you see, here's the two spring clips, and they are top and bottom or left and right, depending upon how you look at it. And you've got a hole in the hinge arm here, okay? And one of the spring hinges here sits up in that hole and sets down in the hole, and the other end sits here in this elongated hole there and there, and that locks it in. Now this thing is it's really tough, but I'm going to lock it in the vise to show you how it operates. Right now it's in the open position. Okay, now I know I've got it right because on the upper hinge, you got one bolt up top and two bolts on the bottom. The lower hinge is two bolts up top and one bolt on the bottom. So anyway, I've got the pin drove in so you can see that dude is tough. So see how loose they fit in there? All right, you actually want to put the springs in and get it lined up before you drive the pin in, okay? So that's kind of a key too. I kind of discovered that the hard way. And then so that's in the closed position, and to open, there you go. See, and he's locked and open. See, that's how it holds open, and these springs are real tight. All right. So anyway, there. I think to put it back in, it has to be open so these springs are drawn in some. So anyway, we'll take it over and see. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put the bottom hinge together. This has no spring clip, so it's really, compared to the upper piece of cake. Did I say piece of cake? Uh-oh. The two holes go on the top, single hole on the bottom. Now, on the top hinge, it's just the reverse. So this is the bottom hinge. So that kind of helps you get oriented for how to put your bracket in. All right, there we go. Now what I'm going to do is drive the pin in. Now I've kind of dry fit him, so I know he's good. He'll go down so far. Now I'm going to show you on the pin. I don't know if you can make it out. There's some knurling right here. What I'm going to do is once I get that pin drove down, I'm going to drive it all the way down so that knurling locks in. If you remember when I pulled the hinge out on the matter of fact, on the bottom hinge, it had come out of the knurling and come up, and that's where all the play was. So anyway, so let's see if we got him started. Yep, he started in the hole. All right. And I got him all the way down. Oh yeah. Oh, that's tight. There isn't a bit of play. Now what I need to do now is zip off the end of this pin. Now that sharp made it easy to guide. I'm going to zip it off flush so I can get it back in. All right. Yeah, it's all the way. He's flush. All right. I didn't have any black paint, but I did have hammered brown left over from when I painted the interior of both the Chevy and the GMC. And that's what, so the hinges are going to be hammered brown too. So now I'm going to attempt to drill out these two bolts or screws. There we go. That's one of them. Now this one. Almost. There. Alright. I can straighten it out. And I just knocked that out. Alright, the hole is almost too big, but there's enough to get a bite. And this panel is not like a load supporting panel, so I almost wonder if I ought not to get a let me see if I can find a washer maybe. That hole may be too big. Or I don't know. I found a washer here. I don't know if it's going to let enough get in there crimped. I don't think it will. That washer won't work. It'll either work or it won't. We'll see, I reckon. It'll either work or it'll pull through. Here we go. Alright, well, seems to be holding. I'll give you a close. Here's a 1/4 screw. Alright, there he is. Yeah, it tightens up, doesn't spin. Remember, this is really not a load bearing per se, it's just a fastener to keep the plate on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run taps through that one, this one, and this one. Then I'm also going to door jambs for the hinges. Now the hinges are over there drying. I don't know if you can make them out right there. So anyway, and I'll beat the see if I can't beat that panel flat again. Really need to replace it, I guess. But for now, we're just going to reuse it. Of course, they make cheaper tools, but I just got this kit, and let me tell you, rib nuts are a game changer. If you work on any of this old stuff that uses a lot of captured nuts and they get rusted and break away, in some cases you can go with a rib nut. This is a 1/4 here, and I've got them up to 3/8, 24 I think. So anyway, that's the they are a game changer. Of course, I got that. That's the name brand on that, and the rib nuts there. Anyway, now I want to run a 1/4. Right there, 1/4. Just chase it through to clean it up. I think I get new screws for that, 1/4 screws. So anyway, now we're going to chase the jam. I think that's 3/8. Let's see, 3/8. Where are you at? Three 3/8 or 3/8 24. Let's take a look. Looks like 3/8 24. Yeah. 3/8 24. Did I not bring my crescent? I guess I didn't. They're all fine thread, right? No. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Butterfingers, I reckon. Jeez. Oh yeah. There we go. All right. That's going to have to dry. Looks like I probably won't get back to putting this back together tomorrow. So anyway, let's get it all buttoned up. Of course, to you all, it'll just be a matter of seconds. Well, all right. Another day, and we're back. The hinges, they're good and dried, and the temperature's dropped, so it's colder, but it's not so cold that I want to run heat in here just yet. But the hinges are ready to go. We're going to get our nuts, our bolts here lined up and ready to be installed, and we're going to install these hinges. Now, I know I spent an inordinate amount of time showing me chasing out the threads in these captured nuts in the door and here in the cab frame. Well, it's really important that that you do that. You know, these fasteners are from '49, and there's a lot of rust. And I was thankful and lucky that I was able to get all of them out, and even in the door without breaking them loose from there, how they're secured into the metal. In some cases, you can't access the back of them. All you can do is just basically knock them out or drill them out and go with like a rib nut or something of that effect to replace it. So in order to try to save them, chase them out. 3/8 24 on the door and the frame mount here, and these bolts will go right in by hand without any problem. So anyway, what's that term? No more ado. Let's get busy. Okay, all the bolts are 3/8 24, but 3 are longer than the others. And I've determined that the longer ones are for the lower hinge in the door and not in the frame. It's the same size in the frame and in the upper hinge. It's the lower hinge that gets the 3 longer bolts. So where we go. Now I'm going to line my nuts up, my marks up, and we're going to zap them in. Getting the top hinge in is a little bit more finesse, but it'll go. There you go. There you go. All right. Now let's get the door on. All right. It's going to be fun, but we're going to put the door on now. I put some white lithium grease on these hinges so it'll slide a little better because, well, at my age, any little bit of help helps. It helps a lot. All right. Now I'm trying to get those holes aligned. See if I can get a bolt started. I've got the 3 bolts started up top. Ends up I blocked most of it with my back, and I've had complaints that my back can get in the way. So the key is to get your outside one started first, then the middle, then this other one. And they've got to go in almost perfect, so to line up. They don't, there's very little wiggle room other than you have to wiggle the door. All right, now we're going to try to get this bottom hinge in, and hopefully that's going to be a little bit better. And it appears to be. Now this is the one that gets the longer bolts. All right, I think having the top hinge in is conducive to making the bottom one very easy. Okay, so now I'm snugging them, but I'm not tightening them because I want the door to be able to shift some, and I want to see how it lines up. Let's run it a little bit more. I'm going to see how the door aligns, and we'll go from there when I go to close it and all the gaps. All right, let's see. Now it needs to really come up like this. Okay, maybe a little bit down. Align the lines. You don't want to hit the front edge, which we're not. All right, let's, okay, we're in good. All right. The lines look good all the way around. All right. See. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to crawl through the passenger side, tighten a couple bolts up on the upper and lower, and see how he does. Be right back. All right, I've crawled through on the other side and tightened them up. My lines are still good. Oh, it feels good to see one stay open. Now let's see how she does. I believe that's going to do it. Main thing is you don't want to make sure your gaps are good and your lines line up. All right, there we go, and the door stays open. How about that? All right, I went through my stash and I found I did have some new screws for the door panel, so we'll have that clean. Here he is. You see I had to bend him a little bit. This was just a bad rust out spot. Like I say, for now that'll be fine. We can live with it. We're just doing a repair today. We're not doing a frame off. It's passable. I also want to point out my impact, my 3/8 impact. This dude's powerful enough to break loose lug nuts. So, only ran these bolts up here and here so far. Then I went back with a ratchet. I trust my 2 clicks of the wrist more than I do this stripping them captured nuts out. So anyway. And what torque? 2 clicks of the wrist. There you go. Now on with the panel. I traded for these aftermarket panels, these custom door panels from back when I first got the truck. I found the guy got the seat, the matching panels, the chrome bumper, the chrome grill, chrome rear bumper. I got a bunch of parts, a whole bunch of spare parts too. And because my original boards in here were, well, the critters, the mice, the coons, the possum, whatever else was living in this truck had ruined them. So this is a nice addition. Now we're going to put the handles on. I don't know if you want to watch that, but it's pretty much the reverse of what I did before, so I'm going to try to zip through it. And unfortunately, my back's going to be in the way, and so in case you knew, of course, this is the lever, the door lever to open and close. You want it straight down. It just makes it easier. How I position my window is most times I ride this in the summer with the window down, and if it's down like this with the window down or around in there, I find that my knee hits it. So I try to position it in an upper position like this, but then I'm going to roll the window up, and I want it to also be up. So I'm going to have a happy medium. Let's see where we get to. All right, here's the finished product. You see the window's all the way down. I got the knob off to the front so it doesn't hit my knee. And then when I go all the way up, winter time, still won't hit my knee. So I'm good to go. And here's my, of course, if you don't know, if you're new to stove bolts, you don't have a key lock on the driver's side. They designed these things to where you got out the passenger side, you slid across the bench seat, and you lock with the key on that passenger door. So to lock the driver's door, you pushed it forward and that locks it. Of course, you bring it back and that's how you open it. So anyway, there she is. She's now staying open, and let's see. All right, she's closed. Another thing to point out, there are rubber bumpers that go here and here, okay? And I actually installed them, and it made the door sit out further from the cab than I liked. I might try it again now that I got the latch and everything connected good. But you see, it's even now. So, and there's no rattling, so I don't think I need them. I don't know. I'll look and see if I've got a spare pair in my stash, and we'll go from there. All right, I hope you found that helpful. One thing to point out, it's a whole lot cheaper to rebuild the OEM hinges if you have the skill set to do it, as opposed to buying a set of reproduction hinges. Now, also, in what I've discovered with working on old cars and trucks, that rebuilding an OEM part is generally better than buying an aftermarket part that's produced overseas off our shores. Now, if you can find an OEM part that's made here on our shores, well, you're going to have better luck than something made in another country. So anyway, rebuilding is actually better. Those pins now, that kit could have been from somewhere else. I doubt it, but who knows, you know. But the hinges themselves, you know, those are 49 hinges. They're rebuildable back to almost brand new condition, and that's pretty neat, I think, anyway. So, rebuild them, and you'll probably be better off. What special tools? You don't really need a drill press. You could use a hand drill. Excuse me. And just about everything else I used was hand tools, nothing really special. So, you know, I did have a press, but I didn't even use a press. Now, to get the pin out of the old hinge, you may have to heat it up to break the rust off and loose, and then pound it off. I was lucky. I was able to pound mine out without having to use heat. But MAP gas or acetylene, whatever heat source you have would be sufficient enough to get it out, and you ought to be good to go. So anyway, my door's staying wide open now. That's good. See, it's always a pain when you're trying to get in and out and that door's just wanting to close on you. You might ask why I'm not doing the passenger side. It ain't broke. It stays open. It closes perfectly. Hey, if it ain't broke, I ain't going to fix it. You know what I mean? But I do have a kit for it if I ever get to that part. So anyway, hope everything's going good with you and yours. Everything's going good here. Can't complain. Won't do me no good to complain anyway. Just carry it on and take care of the business. So have a good one, and I hope to see you around on the next one. See you.